land swapping in his upcoming meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Friday. NTD's Washington correspondent Jack Bradley joins us. Jack, good afternoon. What did the president say regarding a potential deal?
Good afternoon, Don. Well, Trump said that he'll tell Putin whether it is time to end the war with Ukraine, and they'll discuss dividing up land as well, and that he'll know within the first 2 minutes of this meeting whether or not Putin will agree to a deal. And if not, then fighting will continue. Following that meeting, Trump said that he'll call Ukrainian President Zelensky and other European allies to discuss the next steps. And Trump added that he'll later arrange a meeting between both Putin and Zelensky in person to solve the situation. Here's Trump earlier today.
I'm going to meet with President Putin, and we're going to see what he has in mind. And if it's a fair deal, I'll reveal it to the European Union leaders and to the NATO leaders, and also to President Zelensky. I think out of respect, I'll call him first, and then I'll call them after. And I may say, lots of luck, keep fighting, or I may say we can make a deal.
Now, as for the swapping of territories, that's something that Ukrainian President Zelensky has strongly opposed. But in this war, Russia has occupied very key locations of Ukraine. Trump says that he was bothered by Zelensky's recent comments about the hurdles that it would take to get to a deal. Take a look.
And I get along with Zelensky, but, you know, I disagree with what he's done. Very, very severely disagree. This is a war that should have never happened, wouldn't have happened. But I'll be speaking to Zelensky. The next meeting will be with Zelensky and Putin, or Zelensky and Putin and me. I'll be there if they need, but I want to have a meeting set up between the two leaders. I was a little bothered by the fact that Zelensky was saying, well, I have to get constitutional approval. I mean, he's got approval to go into war and kill everybody, but he needs approval to do a land swap, because there'll be some land swapping going on. I know that through Russia and through conversations with everybody, to the good, for the good of Ukraine. Good stuff, not bad stuff. Also, some bad stuff for both. So there's good and there's bad. But it's very complex because you have lines that are very uneven. And there'll be some swapping. There'll be some changes in land. And the word that they will use is, you know, they make changes. We're going to change the lines, the battle lines. Russia's occupied a big portion of Ukraine. They've occupied some very prime territory. We're going to try and get some of that territory back for Ukraine.
Now, Trump said that Putin invited him to meet and that it was respectful of him to agree to come to the U.S. for their meeting on Friday in Alaska rather than in Russia or a third country. Now, Trump has threatened secondary tariffs on Russia's trading partners if a deal isn't reached. We see that by the end of the month, the U.S. will have a 50% tariff on India, which purchases large amounts of Russian oil despite sanctions. And we have China, who's Russia's largest purchaser of oil, about almost 50% of Russia's oil. It's an act that Trump calls fueling the war machine. Don?
Now, Jack, Trump also confirmed that NVIDIA will be giving the U.S. government a 15% cut of its sales to China. Why is the company doing that?
That's right. Just to reiterate, Trump confirmed NVIDIA will pay the federal government 15% of